Hello and what is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today we are going to be taking a look at the new McLaren 600LT, except I've taken almost everything that's 600LT out of it, minus the body and the chassis, and turned it into a drift adventure car, which you can actually download the tune for based on all of the information on screen right now. So what I wanted to highlight in this video is how easy it is to get massive scores with this car. This was the very first time I used this car online, and all you have to know in order to use it are a few simple tricks and a few simple guidelines. One is power is your friend. You always want to be on the power as much as possible. The power, it actually helps you turn. So if you're trying to transition the car, always use the power to help you turn. Secondly, this car will slide on the e-brake for a massively long distance because it is equipped with drag tires and not standard tires or race tires. And even if you spin it out, all you have to do is back up, and because of the drag tires, you can get right back up to scoring speed very, very, very quickly. Now, another thing to remember with this car is do not take it to massive angle. You only need a little bit of angle in order to take advantage of how this car drives and take advantage of all of the points that this car can score. Now, why is that? Well, because it's tuned to keep itself in an optimal speed range. Now, obviously, there are adjustments that could be made to this tune, and I'm not the best driver in the world, obviously, so that will be, I'm sure there are people out there that can score higher than me in this car, and I'm sure there are people out there that can tune this car better than I can tune it. But this is my first, let's say my first little adventure into drift adventure specific car tuning, and I've kind of been following a lot of the guys that I drift with in drift adventure sometimes on my streams, like Gesh Fujiwara, for example. And just from driving his cars, I kind of wanted this car to feel somewhat like that. I've been driving his 992 911 a lot lately, and basically what I wanted this car to feel like was kind of like his 992 911, but a little bit more eager to change direction on normal steering, because I am a normal steering driver, not a sim steering driver. So this tune specifically, I wanted it to have a little bit of that direction change characteristic of a sim steering tune without having to use sim steering, because I find sim steering to be way too touchy. And yes, I here come all the people in the comments that are about to tell me, well, it only takes practice, and the only reason why you're not good with sim steering is because you haven't practiced it. Okay, everybody likes what they like. I tried sim steering for a while, kind of got down to the point where I could almost match my normal steering scores with it, but I just noticed my scores with normal steering were going higher and higher and higher and higher, and my scores with sim steering were not really even that close. And again, you can argue that, well, with more sim steering practice, you'd be able to do it. But it started to make me wonder whether or not it was worth it when you could just set up a car to drive a certain way on normal steering, which is what I've done here. So this is, again, a normal steering based tune. And again, it's not some crazy end-all be-all tune, but in most lobbies, if you practice with it, you will be able to dominate most lobbies as long as you don't have, ridiculously good drivers in there. I'm sure that, Fujiwara and Micah and the people that I drift with on stream all have cars that could, destroy this thing. But I also like the fact that I can, you could take a mid-engine supercar like this if you want and, sort of outfit it for, I say drifting in quotation marks. There's no face cam in this video because I wanted the drifting to be, and I wanted really the car to be showcased. So that's why there's no face cam. But the reason why I say, and air quotes, drifting, like it's a drift car in air quotes, is because in realistic terms, would this kind of a setup be usable? No. I mean, and I'll tell you guys what I've done with the setup. Most of what I've done with the setup is very, very weird. So the car runs a lot of toe out in the front and a lot of toe out in the rear on a drag tire, minimum tire pressure in the front, maximum tire pressure in the rear. And then, the dampers and the springs, I haven't really honestly messed with them all that much. You don't really have to unless you really want to get down to the fine tuning. Haven't really messed with the sway bars that much either. The diff tuning is interesting. So I am 100% locked on acceleration and deceleration in the rear. I am 100% locked on acceleration in the front, 0% locked on deceleration in the front, with 88% rear bias, if I'm getting that correct. And I'm like 99.9% sure I am. So again, just to give a rundown of the diff tuning, it's 100% lock on acceleration and 0% lock on deceleration in the front diff, and the rear diff is 100% on acceleration and deceleration with about an 88% rear biased power split. So bit of an odd power split, but at the end of the day, it seems to work. It seems to do its job. The drivability and the scores speak for themselves, I think, and I definitely want to try this car at Lakehurst. I haven't had a chance to try this car at Lakehurst yet, and I will hopefully get a chance to very, very soon. But my sort of average at Lakehurst is high 600s, low 700s, and that's what I'm able to pull, for example, in Fujiwara's 911 tune. So hopefully I'll be able to get this thing into the 700s. That's my goal with this thing, is to get it into the 700s, and I really wanted to see if I could kind of take the bits and pieces that I learned from driving other people's cars and sort of put it together into a tune that would be fun to drive, but it would also be competitive online, even when, maybe when you run into some better players. So if you would like to try the tune out, the information for that is available in the beginning of the video, but I'll go ahead and reiterate it for you guys right here. Gamer tag Tomcat 9700, tune name Drift Adventure, and car, obviously, McLaren 600LT, tuned for S1, S2 all-wheel drive class. Now, I wanted to leave this bit in here because I messed up on the downhill. But I already had so many points that I was able to just kind of pick it right back up. Now, that's not a perfect run down the hill. A perfect run down the hill will see you pulling out of that corner at about 90 to 100,000 points, pulling out of the 90-degree left-hander. If you're really on a good run, 95,000 plus. On a pretty good run, you'll be doing like 80, and on kind of like an average run, you'll be doing about 60 to 70. So I definitely would say give yourselves time to learn the car, give yourselves time to try it out, give yourselves time to learn it, and I highly recommend using it because once you start to get accustomed to it, your scores will really, really go up, and don't be afraid to try lines that you're not used to trying, and also don't be afraid to hold the handbrake for an extended period of time. I can't stress that enough. This car is all about holding the handbrake for as long as you possibly can, and I promise you, your Drift Adventure scores will go way up if you're struggling to get above a certain point. As you can see right here, I say, hold it at about the 120 mile an hour range, and then pitch it sideways and be on and off the e-brake, on and off the e-brake. You do not have to use clutch with this car, although I recommend it so you're able to keep the revs up while you're holding the handbrake. Now, again, you do not have to use the clutch with this car, but I recommend it because it's a personal preference. Now, also, if you're wanting to keep your speed up along a straightaway, but you don't really want to slow down that much at all, what you could do is you can actually just tap the handbrake on and off, on and off, on and off as you're flat on the throttle. So that's another technique that you can try in order to extending your drifts with this car. Cars like this, the real game with these cars is all about extending your drifts as long as you possibly can. And what that allows you to do is extend the amount of time to which you're scoring, because whenever you have to transition, you're giving up points. So in theory, you want to transition as little as humanly possible while you're going around these tracks. And what this car is set up to do is to hopefully allow you to transition as little as possible. So if you guys try this tune out, please let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of this tune. Let me know if you enjoyed the car, and I really honestly hope you do enjoy the car because it's one of the most fun Drift Adventure cars I've built in a while. S1, S2 all-wheel drive is one of my favorite classes, but I also have been really enjoying A and B rear-wheel drive as of recently. So I definitely am not really too biased to like one or the other, like rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. They're both fun. They're both very competitive. I really do need a new S1, S2 rear-wheel drive car because I'm getting back into making my own tunes again. But again, if you guys download the tune, please do let me know what you think about it, and I hope that this video was helpful to you. If you're struggling to improve your scores in Drift Adventure, I really hope that these tips and this car helped to address maybe some of the concerns that you guys were having. And at the end of the day, it really comes down to, I mean, especially in the all-wheel drive classes, it really just comes down to driving a car that you enjoy driving and have fun with, because the all-wheel drive S Drift Adventure class is basically just unlimited free-for-all. It's like, you know, if you want to win and you want to be effective, really all bets are off, because you can kind of bring whatever type of car you want and outfit it however you want, you know, be that a V8, a V12, a V10, you know, be that whatever kind of tune you want. I've seen people do this on, like, normal street tires. I've seen them do it on drag tires. I've seen them do it on race tires, and a lot of it comes down to tuner style. However, I have noticed that if you really want to milk the most out of this point system, the drag tires seem to be the way to go, because you can hold your slide for the longest amount of time, and when you have a small amount of angle, you can accelerate a lot, but you don't actually have all that much lateral grip, so when it comes time to hold the e-brake, the car will seemingly slide for almost forever, allowing you to cut out really almost all of the unnecessary transitions that you would have to do if you were running a race tire or something like that. So if you guys enjoyed this look at this car, make sure to click that like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more. Hope this video helped you guys out, and I will see you guys next time. Talk to y'all later.